Schoolboys, linesmen, we're ready to go. Welcome, one and all, to the Best Damn Tech Show period. This is December 4th, 2006. I'm joined by my cohorts in crime, Sir Adam Plant and Rand McNally. A different face for many of you. Some of you may have seen him in the Roadie Show, but he actually was the guy who invented the maps.
That's right.
Which is, we're very happy to have you here because of that.
Well, I'm happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
We're psyched.
Did you get lost on the way here?
He knows all the streets.
That's right.
All of them. Because he created the maps. That's fabulous. Drew Zaywall, he was taken out with a straitjacket.
That's right.
Not 10 minutes ago. So we wish him all the best, of course.
He was very tough to take down, I gotta tell you. I was surprised.
take down.
Quick mental
He's got
recovery.
that retard strength.
He's like he's like who invited him? Are you? I think so. Look, we got a lot of news to get through. All right,
Best get to it.
serious stuff. People rely on us for their tech news.
Yes,
all right.
absolutely.
So let's get into it. Tech news. Ooh, and
Oh, he dances. I don't.
Eh.
I was thank God, because if I had to dance,
psychedelic dancing at
What
that.
do you call that dancing? I had a seizure.
Mac fans, there's a lot of them. There's a whole lot of them out there.
not as many as you think.
You know, Mac has released their Christmas versions of their videos. There's 3 of them. I don't know if you guys have seen them.
Yeah.
If you have not, you probably will. Here's a short clip of one of them.
Hello, I'm a Mac.
And buy a PC.
What?
Well, I know you like to just hang out when we're together, but fact is, you're selling like hotcakes now, and I got to get my message out. So I'm doing a little buzz marketing for old PC, the only computer you'll ever need. If you act now, I'll
Casey,
throw
why
in a
are you
mouse
doing
pad.
this?
What?
This is ridiculous.
Well, look, I chart these buying trends, and people seem to be falling for your whole iLife thing, so I got to pull out all the stops. Supplies are limited. Operators are standing by.
It's very subtle.
Buy a PC. Buy a PC.
Oh, that Mac guy. He's so lovable, isn't he?
I thought they were ending that campaign.
Yeah, I thought they were getting rid of. Well, I thought they were getting rid of.
Yeah, this is
Justin Long.
This is the last of his foray into the Mac.
He's so smug.
People weren't necessarily liking him all that much.
PC should just make commercials like, want to afford your kids presents this year? You know?
Hey, come on. Mac's very affordable. We all know that.
Relatively affordable.
Affordable when you compare them to $3,000 Dells.
I was a Mac guy. I went to a school that required Macs, and I went back to PC.
Why?
Simply because of
Why would you do
funding.
that?
Simply
Oh,
because
funding.
of my low funding.
Fair enough.
But I gotta say, now that everything's changing, all these machines are gonna be the same very, very soon, if not already.
I think you're right, Ram McNally. I think you're right. Yeah, don't shake
They're
your
getting
head,
closer.
Plant.
I said that I'm agreeing. Jeez.
Check it out, apple.com/get a Mac. If you want to
If
see
you wanna
those
get a
ads.
Mac.
Well, no, if you want to see the ads.
Oh,
That PC guy, he's so dorky.
but he gets the job done.
Does he? Does he really?
That's right. Adam is a big fan of the PC guy.
It's my boy.
You know, all of MP3, we've discussed them before at length. I'm a big fan of all of MP3. You can get a full album or CD or whatever you call them these days for about $2. Which is good. I think that's fair. It really is.
Yeah, that's more realistic. Anyway.
Yeah, everyone's happy. Well, apparently they have what do you call it? Succumbed to the pressure of the U.S. government or the record industry, and they will be shutting their doors
It's a lot of pressure.
come June the 1st, I believe, 2007. So download those CDs now.
That is a
While they're
long
hot.
time. 6 months?
Yeah, 6 months to get
Wow.
The 6 months
stuff.
for them to cook up something new.
Right, yeah. It gives them 6 months worth of appeals, and
Keep in mind that you can't use your Visa card or your MasterCard to download that stuff. as well.
Just put cash in an envelope and
right.
send it off.
Send it off to Russia.
What's going to happen?
Speaking of Russia,
Yes.
guess who's there? Guess who was flown all the way out there?
I'm gonna guess it's not Drew because he's in the
Straight
back
jacket.
of the truck.
Yeah.
Yeah. Schmidt Ultra.
Yes, Schmidt Ultra has actually journeyed out. We sent him along to Russia. He loves Russia. He has good mates in Russia.
Ah.
And he actually caught up with some of his mates from all of MP3 whilst over there. Schmidt, what do you got for us, mate?
Hey guys, I'm over here hanging out with the relatives over in Russia. just getting our little drink on. Allofmp3.com. They've claimed that they are going to comply with taking all illegal copyrighted material off the site by June of 2007. It kind of sucks. I mean, as you know, or may not know, I really enjoy getting material off that site. I mean, $2 for your average size album, and that's friggin' incredible. So, luckily, there are new sites, mp3sugar.com, so I really suggest going and checking that out, and hopefully prices stay low. Back to you guys.
So it seems as though they're not just all of MP3, but there's a few other places as well, like mp3sugar.com. If you go to that site, you'll see that it's pretty much the same as all of MP3.
You got to give it to those Russians. Just a few years ago, they were waiting in line for bread, and now they're headlining the illegal downloads on the internet.
I credit
Congrats to
vodka.
them.
I'd credit vodka for that.
Absolutely.
Vodka. And for all those of you who want to download Nick Lachey, it's going to set you back $1.76. I know Brandon the Bastard loves his Nick Lachey.
He does though.
Sorry,
So I
I
had
don't
a
know any
conversation with him without him trying to sing that song. He gets up in your face and
Loves
starts
it.
belting it out.
He really does.
Yeah.
Exciting news. BitTorrent. We're big fans of BitTorrent.
Yes, very big.
Some of it's illegal, you know. Some people use it for illicit use.
It's like a
Nefarious use of BitTorrent.
No one here.
No,
That can't
no,
exist.
no.
I don't believe it.
They're going legal. They're going legit. They're too legit to quit, according to what's his face, MC Hammer. Thank you.
He's just hammering
I'm
it.
talking Bram from BitTorrent.
They're launching an online video store. Good move on BitTorrents. They've actually teamed up with quite a few of the big names. There was one that didn't. I think Time Warner didn't want to get into it, but all the rest, you know, there's some big time movies there.
Which means they'll eventually go over once it
Yeah.
does well.
Big time videos and TV shows as well. So keep an eye out for that. They're launching in February. There's no prices as yet.
So are they positioning themselves for a shutdown on the other side as well? Like, is this why they're going legit? So that when they're
Probably not.
quasi
No, because
legitimate
BitTorrent's
markets-
a technology. It's not a company. You know what I
Right,
mean,
right.
like BitTorrent itself was created by Bram. I can't remember his last name.
Okay.
And,
Dracula guy.
but I mean, like for the most part, it's just a technology. There's all kinds of BitTorrent clients out
Right.
there, and it's already kind of out of the gate. So even if they wanted to try and legalize, it's not like they hold or control any portion of you know the
It's true,
technology
but the
itself.
government's legislation is getting incredibly vague.
Oh, it's
More and
so
more
vague.
vague. Anything with internets in it,
that's-
it is busted.
If it's, lawyers love vague, man. They
love
thrive
it.
on vague.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing makes them more money than vague. The only thing not vague with lawyers is their bank accounts.
Right? Yeah, they're
No,
bottom
fairly
line.
substantial. That's true. Speaking of fairly substantial, Walmart are also getting into this online video download. Do you know that they're a big video DVD seller? I think they own about 40% of the market. That's
Right.
a lot. And so now they're actually trying to position themselves. They're taking a mini step, if you will, towards being a fully online download store by offering those who purchase CDs or DVDs the opportunity to download those movies onto your computer for a small fee. I don't know what that small fee is.
Any kind of DRM or anything?
Probably. Most likely.
What's the point of that, though? Why would you pay extra money for restrictive media when you already have?
Impress your mates. Yeah.
And there's plenty of free software out there that you can put that media on a computer somewhere.
Yeah. They must be just trying out new stuff. Don't they try a lot of little web things and that fail?
Walmart?
A lot of failure.
Yeah, there's.
I don't know. They try a lot of
Walmarting
defensive
across
ones.
America, right? Was one of them.
Yeah.
They've come under a lot of flack for their online stuff, but
Yeah.
you know, who knows? We'll keep it
Might as well go in there and go to their $4 bin.
geek eye.
Get over there.
We'll give a geek eye on that.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yahoo. Plant loves his Yahoo. You
Yes,
know
he
that?
does.
Come
I
on
didn't
now.
know that.
Loves it.
It's all the buzz.
He's like, whenever you talk to Plant, it's like, you know, see Yahoo did this,
Yeah.
see Yahoo did this, and whatever, you know. They've redesigned their TV listing site this week, so fascinating stuff. You probably like it because you like the Yahoo design kind of stuff.
The what design?
Yahoo. Yahoo Design.
Jeez.
It's got an
They're-
official name.
They're very left.
And one time I say, that's not that bad. Next thing you know, pigeonholed. Instant pigeonholed.
CBS.
Mm-hmm.
You know CBS.
I do.
Stands for something. Commonwealth Broadcasting Service.
Cockball semen.
Yes, that's exactly what it stands for. They're giving a lot of credence to YouTube for a lot of increase in their viewing of their sites. And, you know, Schmidt, he's been talking with Geek Psychic, right? So he's been able to channel stuff, right? Channel. And he channeled Howard Cosell, who apparently works for CBS. I don't know who he is, but Schmidt's channeling him anyway.
All right. Well,
And he's got some more news on this whole CBS YouTube thing. What do you guys for, Schmitty?
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Howard Cosell, here for you with news on CBS and works with YouTube.com. Since October 18th of 2006, CBS has had over 300 clips on YouTube.com, and they've received over 29.2 million views since then. This is great news for CBS. They claim that these views are actually attributing to the success of their late-night programming. Back to you guys in the studio.
ugh, that's why I stay away from Geek Psychic. I don't want to channel anybody.
What's with the voice? Is that how Howard Cosell sounds?
I don't know. I don't think so. I don't really watch CBS too often, though, so I'm not the best person to ask.
Fair enough. Plant? Is that how Howard Cosell sounds?
I couldn't tell you.
Really? You're American? How American are you? Jeez.
I live in America, so I'm pretty American.
Yeah. And you watch...
I was born here, but I mean, other than that, I mean...
I tell you, he's a true geek. Steer clear of sports, steer clear of, you know, social life, all that sort of stuff.
I'm just not into pop culture, I mean...
That's true. That's true. He's not into pop culture at all.
No, who is?
That's true. Speaking of pop culture, celebrations, beer, everyone.
Oh.
Ho-ho!
Every day.
There was it. Leo Laporte is 50. Uh-huh.
Too bad we don't have those things, that, you know?
Right, the hats and the whoop. And, ho-ho!
Oh,
Here's up.
Again?
Dig is 2. Yay! Celebrations all round. Yay!
Nice.
Like Dig. Like Dig is good.
I like Dig.
Yeah.
Speaking of cheering and whatnot, AOL have decided to give away 30 video downloads for free. In time for the Chrissy season.
All the time?
No, just Saturday.
Well, I'm busy Saturday.
Last Saturday.
Oh,
Just 30 per person.
I was busy
Yeah.
last Saturday.
What videos?
Any videos?
Any
Any videos that they have?
Does AOL have porn?
I don't think so.
No faster way to get overloaded than giving away 30 videos of free porn.
Hey,
Yeah.
they stood to the test when that Music 8 thing was on, right? Remember that thing?
Oh, the Live 8.
Live
Live
8.
8, yeah.
They
stood
did.
the
They
test.
actually
I have all
withstood the
faith.
traffic on Live 8.
I have all faith that they will do the same this time. I know we're down on AOL a lot,
Always.
but
Mostly.
Yeah.
Whenever
No.
possible.
when it comes to bandwidth, I think they do all right.
Yeah, they do have a pretty strong network.
Best Damn Studios, we actually could watch Live 8 from our roof.
Oh, that's
just to,
fabulous.
Just to give you a hint as where we may be.
London.
Yes.
Pip, pip.
Governor.
All right, Gov. Remember October?
December,
What?
November.
October this year.
No.
Remember that? Guy called Dave Gray sent. He's one of the hosts of the TPN's Global Geek podcast.
Oh.
He sent a letter to Apple with a check for $1 for using the term podcast.
Oh gosh, that's right, Apple and
You
the
know, a little-
podcasting, letter G.
Just a gesture. Most people thought he was kidding, but apparently he wasn't. We have actually a copy of the letter, and if you go to our site, bestdamntech.com, click on show notes, you'll actually see a version of the letter.
So they actually
Right there.
authorized him to use podcast for $1?
I guess. I don't know. It's all very weird, the whole podcast. I'm
It is
taking
weird.
the podcast.
Podcast.
Podcamp.
And no dollar.
Pod.
Peas in a pod.
Speaking of pod, Iris on the virus. That was very colourful.
Thank you.
That was very colourful.
You're Iris.
Are there viruses on pods?
I'm virus free.
Adobe Acrobat. There is an exploit in the wild for Adobe Acrobat. This is standard and pro. versions 7.0.0 to 7.0.8, and it only exists in the Internet Explorer. Like, you know, when you're in Internet Explorer, which you shouldn't be, but if you are, and you click on the PDF link, and it takes like a million years to load up, and then there's the PDF right there.
Yeah.
So that's the only time. If you're using Firefox, Opera, or FLAC, then
No worries.
no worries at all. Yeah. So the workaround is don't use them. But what it is, it's it has something to do with the ActiveX controls, and it allows code execution. It'll crash the app and allow code execution. So if you absolutely have to use Internet Explorer because your company's a bunch of jerks and makes you use it, and you need to fix it, or you just can't live without your PDFs without being in a really long to load obnoxious browser interface, then you can go into your ActiveX folder in the Acrobat 7 directory, probably under Program Files, and delete a file called acropdf.dll, and that'll make it safe. Of course, that'll then remove your ability to look at it in the browser, but chances are that's a good thing. Also, Apple.
Hey, what?
Apple patched.
Oh, this is Apple right here.
Apple released a security update. This is 2006-007.
They're keeping on the ball.
Yeah. They patched 22 vulnerabilities, 9 of them which allowed code execution. Amongst the fixes are Airport, Finder, Samba, VPN, ClamAV, which is like a Unix antivirus, and OpenSSL, many more. The funny thing about Apple, and the reason that, you know, they very carefully write this on the site when you look at it, it's like, we, to protect our users, do not disclose any information about viruses. Like, basically, they don't acknowledge that they exist
yeah.
until we've patched them to protect our users. And I'm sure it's to protect their obnoxious advertisement that says, we don't have viruses.
Wow.
You can't exploit our code. So
And of those things you listed, most of those are very critical. I mean,
most of them are very critical.
wow. Samba.
Samba is your share. Samba is a technology that allows a Unix system like FreeBSD, Linux, or Apple OS X, which is pretty much a very pretty interface on top of.
It's very
Yes.
pretty interface.
It's a very pretty interface. And I'm talking about Apple. You're going to shake me up a little bit. And it allows you to share folders on a Windows network.
Right.
So that's pretty much what it's for.
Dangerous.
VPN is virtual private network. Is how you would get into a network. If let's say you're on your home and you need to get into your work network and it's closed off to the outside world, through VPN you can actually act like your computer's there on location. So I mean, these are pretty big security problems. You know,
Sure.
you got an open OpenSSL. You got the antivirus, VPN, and Samba. Finder, which is kind of like the big deal,
That is a big deal. That's true.
and Airport, which is your wireless. And this Airport, that has been in the wild for months.
Oof.
They just didn't acknowledge it, and actually by not acknowledging it, they make themselves look better. Um,
Well, they fixed it.
They fixed it, and if you want to add them up, it's a shitload of less vulnerabilities than Windows. So,
That's true.
they're not all bad. I'm just saying it's funny how their policy not only defends their customers, it also defends them.
Well, they're all new to this whole virusy thing, so
Yeah,
let's give them a
right.
few more months to fall into that.
And this is just a little heads up. There's a lot of people going VoIP now for their phone services.
Sure. Yeah.
Tons of VoIP
over
that's out there.
IP.
Yeah, it's voice over IP. That's plugging your phone into the internet rather than through traditional landlines. And it's open season for hackers, particularly in the UK, where I'm not busting on the UK or anything, but their infrastructure, nationwide, their infrastructure internet is not as well put together as it is here in the States.
It's as good as their dental program.
Yeah.
Is that what you're trying to say?
Hey.
No, I'm not busting on them. It's just it's just the way it is. It wasn't implemented as well. And the reason I have this on all this on the UK is because the source for this particular segment of Virus and the Virus is from theregister.com, which is
Oh, of
based
course.
in the UK.
Yeah.
So I guess some people did some security audits on a lot of these VoIP companies, especially the call centers that receive a lot of them. And there's unencrypted networks. There's just general lack of knowledge when it comes to security. People just don't think, this is my phone, but it's just a phone. They don't realize that, it's going on the internet. And there's two particular programs you could use. One that can trace VoIP activity over as it traverses over a network,
Right.
and another that can actually record anything you say or punch in through the keypad to an MP3 file.
Which becomes really dangerous if you do a lot of phone banking over voice.
Exactly. They have found that 7 out of 10 calls were open to attack, where tone dialed PIN numbers could easily be heard and retrieved from
That's
this
a lot.
kind of wiretap. So, I mean, this is a particular call center. There's many of them. So, the concern is this isn't like, be scared of VoIP. VoIP is awesome. VoIP is great. It's, if you're going to use VoIP, just like if you're going to use Bluetooth phone or anything else like we talked about last week, you want to make sure that security is addressed, especially if you're at a company and you're switching over to VoIP, as many are. You want to make sure, whoever's dealing with the VoIP company, that their security is addressed. Don't just leave it up in the air and say, oh yeah, there's an assumption that the VoIP provider will deal with
That's true.
the security issues for you, and that's not always the case. I know in a lot of cases, though, in America, like Vantage, who a company I work for recently switched over, we're actually on a private T1 with them. There's no outside internet at all involved. It's like a T1 that goes straight to Vantage. It's and that's the way to go. But nevertheless, security is a concern for that. And that's
why there will always be room in your iris. There was always going to be more viruses.
Always. A little news segment that we do, just to get it out of the way of all the quick news that are out there. You know what it is?
I do.
What is it?
Check it out.
Check it out.
Woo! Check it out all the way out. All the way out.
Oh, I can get arrested for doing that.
I
Wonder
know.
if you guys can help me out with a few of these. We'll lead it off with the fact
right.
that iPod accessories are actually outselling the Zune according to Amazon. However, they did manage to outdo SanDisk, which was the number 2 MP3 player, by taking that number 2 position. So winning 9% of market share.
Congratulations.
So they actually did something.
Star Wars kid.
Oh.
I want this one.
Yeah.
I didn't want that one. I'm still commenting on the Zune. I think that creative should step up their advertising by sending me one of their Vision Ws, and I'll get them to beat the Zune and the stupid SanDisk.
I will say, the creative Zen,
Vision W.
especially the wide one.
That's the
widescreen
one.
It's freaking awesome. And it doesn't
Kicks
corrupt
all
all
their
your,
ass.
your music files when you put them on there.
No DRM.
You can put it on there. It's your MP3s. You put them on there. You move to another computer. Big deal. Doesn't
Yeah.
matter. You can still hear your stuff.
That's right.
All right, big shout
Go ahead,
out to
Star
that.
Wars kid.
Star Wars kid, most viewed viral video on the net.
No surprise.
Twice
there,
as many views as the Paris Hilton sex tape.
Your very good
Wow.
friend Paris Hilton.
Yeah, I don't like Paris Hilton. Which I don't blame that. I would be much more entertained by the Star Wars kid. I did see a little bit of the Paris Hilton sex
Of course.
tape. And she looks like the most boring lay
Oh
in the
my
universe.
God! Excuse me, I
think-
have to take this call before I bleep your bleep.
I think there's a consensus
unbelievable.
there, yes.
Jesus, man. I think I'd rather poke a dead fish than stick it in Paris Hilton.
Yeah, right. A freshly killed fish, preferably. A
Doesn't
river
have to
fish.
be, you know?
Yeah.
What about the Star Wars kid? No interest in bugging him?
Right. All right.
No, but he is fucking funny. And I'll give
That's true. It definitely is funny.
Google is dropping their question and answer website.
Ah, no.
Answers.google.com.
They had a question and answers website?
I've never been. I'm only reading what is put before me. But they've dropped it according to the official Google blog, which means by this time you go to look, it probably won't be there.
It's there, but you can't post any new questions at all. But it was a pay per question model. And, you'd pay, what, $2, $5? You'd set the...
I don't get
you'd
it,
set
though.
the
There's so many
amount.
message boards to go through on any topic.
Well,
you
you know what?
That's it.
You know what I don't get, though, is that Google gives everything away for free.
Yeah. It was unusual.
Why this one?
Why? Yeah, that's so weird.
It was definitely unusual,
And, like-
there's no doubt.
Yahoo Answers, and this is going to make me sound like a freaking Yahoo
He
fanboy
loves
again.
Yahoo.
What do you mean sound like?
Send him Yahoo boxers,
Look,
Yahoo.
man.
He'll wear them.
I like Flickr, and I like Yahoo Answers. I don't
Right.
use their search or anything. There's nothing wrong with it. I just don't use it because Google's better in my mind. But I mean, Google usually has anything and everything over Yahoo.
Yeah.
By a huge margin.
And
how they
earlier.
shit the bed on this Google Answers thing blows my mind.
Right.
Well, like your mother says, Adam, everybody shits the bed sometimes.
Does she really?
That's what she said when she was here
Sage.
last time.
Sage words.
I ran into her running to the bathroom and I had my sheets. I was,
You know what though?
That's
She didn't tell me
fabulous.
about that.
No, okay, well,
She
there you
keeps
go.
She keeps it confidential.
All right.
Meanwhile, over at Yahoo, they've actually launched this new service called Mixed, mixd.com or
Oh, yeah, I see it.
mixd.yahoo.com. And it's an interesting little thing where you can actually group text your friends. So, you just go to the site, you type in the number, and, a blast goes out to all your mates.
A blast.
Not interesting. An interesting little concept.
Interesting way to bring up your buddy's phone bill.
Well, most people these days actually have unlimited texting, except for you, Plan.
Except for me.
Which is why he doesn't answer.
I'm holding
his
out,
text
damn it. I want a
messages.
Wi-Fi phone. Then I won't have to worry about all that crap.
And most countries actually, it's all included into their accounts, except for here in the US. where you
Yeah, I
actually
guess
have to
US
pay.
sucks for cell phones.
They've always been behind.
Yeah.
They
On
really,
cell phones.
Really have.
Better infrastructure for the entire internet as it
Sure.
is in the US.
Years ago.
Sucking on the cell phones.
Years ago, they had,
Particularly
the phones we
texting.
have now.
Texting
Yeah.
back in Australia, it's prolific. You're guaranteed to get like 10, 20 text messages easily.
I would
Yeah.
much rather text
People
an
are
Australian
reluctant.
than talk to one because I can't understand a fucking
Hang
word you're
about,
saying.
hang about, Ram McNally. You've been to Australia, right? You've
It
met
doesn't help. They spell
Australia.
all fucked up too.
That's
so.
true. That's
Just
true.
half the words he sends, all the dingoes and the crazy shit you say about
Yeah.
talking to a dead dingo's donger. Or whatever.
Well, I think the singular networks now you can have a text
Trans.
filter where you can take
Yeah.
out the slang of any nation. So
No,
I
it
put in my
translates.
Australia text filter and it pulls out dingo and Barbie and all that other
Look,
shite.
I'm here to educate you guys, okay? That's what it boils down to. So,
Gotcha.
you're learning.
Who's my
Dead
uncle?
dingoes, donga. Bob is your uncle.
Got it.
Absolutely. Speaking of Skype, we were speaking of Skype earlier on. They are continuing with their, what do you call it?
I can't pronounce that.
I don't know. That's why I didn't take this one.
eBayization.
You know, eBay purchased Skype a while ago.
Good purchase.
And since then, they've kind of been slowly laying off people. This time, it's like a big layoff of Skype.
Did they get it on like a buy it now price or do they have to bid it up?
Nice. Maybe it's Express.
Okay, I gotcha.
So,
So they're culling?
culling a lot of senior execs from Skype. Kind of a changing of the guard, if you will.
I like that. It keeps your salaries down, honestly.
And if
That's
there's anything
true.
I need, it's a salary that stays put.
Well, I just don't like senior execs holding their position for incredibly long periods of time because they continually get raises and bonuses, and then it just becomes a hole for money to throw into.
For money. Throw it like this.
It's just.
Hole.
Money. Every 5 years or so, you might want to rock the boat.
Rock the boat a
Get
little.
some young
Rock the
kids
boat,
up and
baby.
Yeah.
let them make some decisions.
Fair enough. Brandon McNally. Fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you might have seen the first of our Screencasters episode. We did a little feature on Plugged.
Oh yes.
And their Here technology. If you haven't, check it out at bestandtech.com.
Man, is that here cool?
Very, very cool. It really
So
is.
cool.
And I had no idea before, we did the screencast for it.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for that, gentlemen. Rounding out the show here, as it is December.
Yes, it is.
And we're coming up to Chrissy.
Chrissy Mass.
There's probably a lot of you out there who really, have this desire to get stuff, but you don't know what to get.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's obviously the Wii, and PlayStation, and blah, blah, blah. But there are also other stuff out there
Things
that
you don't
you
wait in
may
line for.
want to consider. Exactly.
Yeah,
no,
yeah,
no waiting in
right.
line for this stuff, pretty much.
Or you can go for the old stuff that was waited in line for, like the Cabbage Patch Kids and the Tickle Me Elmos. That's the really cool way to go. I like that. This
You go
was all
retro.
the rage 12 years ago, kid.
Right, going retro now.
That's right.
This is something that you may want to add to your Chrissy wish list. Skype.
I love Skype.
You do?
I love Skype.
Yeah, I think
man.
most of us do love
I
Skype.
use it all the time. I really do. It's just the best chat program, the best, it's just communication porthole. It
Yeah.
really is. I use it for business. I use it for pleasure.
Business and pleasure. Skype. Business
He's
and
actually
pleasure.
found a way to get around charging on the 900 numbers, which is what he meant by the pleasure part.
There's all kinds of ways to get around stuff online. Mm-hmm. Once you plug in that broadband connection, it's It's time to black market.
Maybe we'll do a screencaster episode on that a little bit later. But for now, one of the problems with Skype is that you haven't been able to just grab a phone, wander around your house and just chit-chat on your phone. Mm-hmm. Sure, you can have like your Bluetooth with your headphone and whatnot and do it that way. But still, you're limited to a certain range.
And for the general public, they just see it as a headset sit in front of your computer thing, and that's it. They don't want it. You know, they want to walk around their house with their cordless phone while they're doing the dishes or smacking the kids.
Skype are now coming out with that cordless phone. Thank you very much. Letting users plug into a broadband landline connection as well.
Ooh.
So you can actually answer your regular phone stuff. So that you can call using your regular phone service or by choosing Skype.
Wow.
Very impressive. Check it out at accessories.skype.com. It's about $200. Not too bad.
That's as Drew would say, that's a fucking lot of money. But considering, I mean, especially for people that make international phone calls or even long distance calls in any one country, often, man, does it save you cash.
It's saved me so much money over the years, and I can just bug my mates when I get drunk.
That's fantastic. That's really what communication's all about.
That's what it's all
bugging
about.
your mates.
Well, on top of that, $200 is not a lot of money if you use it, on a daily basis or, semi-daily basis.
Do you use Skype daily?
I don't know.
Do you?
Yeah.
I do.
Indeed.
And I really don't have too many people on it, but I still use it daily.
Sure.
I got to tell you, $200 is fine for something I use daily, just like I said.
Exactly. Like, $200 is okay. Like, someone will spend $3,000 on a huge, Uber TV.
Right.
And then that's worth it because they sit on their ass and watch it for 7 hours a day.
All right, which most people do.
If you spend $3,000 on an Uber TV that you watch for a half an hour a day,
it's not,
you're kind of an idiot.
Not worth it.
Either that or you're rich and just like to spend a lot of money.
Right, exactly.
But I think I will be adding that to my wish list.
Excellent. And I will be expecting one from you for Chrissy this year.
Righto. Last on our list of wish list recommendations, the Nike iPod product.
Nike, you mean?
Nike, to call it what you will. They've come up with, you remember they did the whole iPod shoes thing connection, how many miles you've gone, all that sort of stuff. Here we have a wrist-mounted remote device that lets you change your iPod channels right there from your wrist.
Huh.
And
is it wireless or wired?
Bluetooth?
It's RFID enabled. Apparently there are some security flaws, but I think they will be addressing those in the near future.
Security flaws?
Yeah.
RFID is it's you got to think twice before you just implement some RFID in your product because it really has some drastic security issues that need to be thought about.
So, I guess the end result would be, since the iPod naturally connects to a PC or Mac, that then your wrist would be the conduit to your iPod, which would be the conduit to your machine.
Potentially.
Not just corrupting the iPod itself.
Well, it's potentially just the iPod.
There's other issues too, like with RFID, there's a million excellent uses for RFID. You know, you have an RFID enabled refrigerator that can ping your RFID-enabled milk and let you know on your way home that you're running low on milk or something like that.
That is pretty badass.
Things like that. It's badass. But then you got RFID all over everything, right? And all somebody who wants to freaking rob your house has to do is point a little receiver at it and be like, all right, he's got a big screen TV, Sony Grand Wago 42-inch. And go through all your stuff and be like,
wouldn't
that's the house I want to rob.
Wouldn't it be more like he's got milk, he's got eggs, and oh shit, that couscous is going bad? Not like that?
Well,
no, I will buy him some more milk.
He'd be like, all right, I'm going to rob the milk and the eggs and leave the couscous in the fridge where it belongs.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I mean, like, there's just a lot of that sort of thing. And then RFID enables, there's just a lot of nefarious uses for it as well. You know, like, you remember when like the Easy Pass came out?
Yes, I do.
Or whatever they call it outside of the Pennsylvania, Jersey area.
Don't tell them where we are. We're in London. Hello?
All right, Gov.
I thought people talked about the Easy Pass in Pennsylvania.
Oh, right.
So, the thing with that was like people were like, well, I'm not buying that because if I'm speeding, they'll know because they'll be able to calculate how long it took me to get from this toll to this toll.
Yeah.
And no one's doing that.
No one's
No.
But I mean, that you gotta admit, it's there. They could do it if they wanted to.
Yeah.
They have a hard enough time.
I think the
enforcing-
answer is don't speed. Huh?
That's not an option for some people.
That's right.
No, especially not Schmitty. You know,
Right.
right. Lead foot right there.
No slower than that, yes.
Until they put a toilet in a fucking car, I'm speeding. Back
I
to
think
you.
they've done that. I think they've done that. It's
Oh.
called an RV or a camper
Yes.
van. Back where
Right.
I'm from,
A caravan.
camper van.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
caravan you have to actually get out. And,
Oh, Van
you know,
Toe.
go
That's
into the
why the gypsies used them.
caravan thing.
Gotcha.
Exactly.
Good.
Caravan funner than that.
Yeah.
Pile them in there. I think Geek Cyclic has one.
Oh, all right.
Yeah,
Is
you'll-
it
you'll be-
really hot in there?
Oh, it's hot.
Nice.
It's hot. Yeah, people love it.
Think we're done?
That is definitely all the time we have for today. We hope you have learned something today. If not, email us.
Freaking read something and learn.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. I'm
Info
supposed to be
at
Drew. Info at bestdamntech.com.
Ah, he
Info
always-
at bestdamntech.com.
he always nailed
Info
that.
at bestdamntech.com.
Give us your opinions, your feedback.
That's right.
all that.
www.bestdamntech.com,
Man, he was good at that.
polaritv.com.
Absolutely.
What else we got? Scriggity.com, roadieshow.com. There's a bunch of stuff out there. Just go to polaritv.com and check what we have out there.
Check with a CZ.
Or a CHEQUE.
Ah.
We all know.
Sorry about that.
Thanks once again for joining us, Plant. Always a pleasure. Ram McNally,
Thank you for
ring
having me,
in.
gentlemen.
Absolute pleasure. Schmitty
Really?
in his wanderings. I just say that, Schmitty.
Absolute
Plant.
pleasure.
Absolute pleasure.
I just
That's
say
what
that.
I give people.
I just say
Absolute,
that. Until-
definitive
Pure
pleasure.
bliss.
You know the definition of pleasure after having me on your show.
Is that right? I'll tell you about it next week, people. Until then, have a geek week.